We'll come hang out, and then Saturday after the show at the house, we're going to do some dessert and some stuff like that. So who's going to be there, whether it's just me and my wife, or me and a couple people, or me and 50 people, or it's not going to be like the old days of Spirit, the Buckethead Bash and the Spirit Friends and Family Union, where we'd have hundreds of people in the backyard, but maybe next year. So this is like the first one of the renewal of that whole thing. But before we get too far into it, I just want to thank everybody. So like Trump would say, we're just going to kind of throw in a trigger time early so I can get everybody warmed up. All publicity is good. Good and bad, it doesn't matter, it's all good. So I notice I get some thumbs down now, and I want to thank you guys. I'm glad that you watch me enough and get to know me enough to at least make a judgment whether you like me or not, which is awesome. And for all you guys that like it and like the car part, or you like the trigger time part, we're going to continue to do that later on. But I'm going to give you a freebie. This is a freebie. The way it works, I kind of, when I'm in the role of doing this thing, I get up in the morning and I try to think what's the thought for the day, and where are we going to go. And especially back, I used to write for a newspaper, a weekly column. It's like, oh, what are we gonna, and just a lot of times in life, what am I gonna do? What? So this is James. This is a good one, and this is like one of them promises. There's no gray area. It's a black and a white thing. It says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all men generously and without reproaching, and it will be given. But let him ask in faith with no doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea and is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways, will receive anything from the Lord. So, in wisdom and knowledge and all that, I'm not going to get into that, but sometimes I just don't have a clue. So Lord, help me. I don't get it. You said you were going to help me, so you got to help me. Sometimes I don't know what the heck, but it comes to us. We can figure it out. So again, thanks for all you dislikers. So in your case, or whatever, but appreciate you being there. Hang out for trigger time, and we'll get you later on. I hope you're fired up already. Here's Alan's car. Starting to look good. I'm liking it. We got these little wing thingies here. Alan wants them painted. Jason, the guy that made them, thinks they look better if we polish them, but this is Alan's car, so there's kind of a look at what they're going to be. I guess you can go in the comment area. Right now, Alan wants them painted, which I'm leaning towards Alan. And let us know what you think. Do we paint this yellow, or do we leave it polished? And bottom line, it's Alan's, and we're going to do what he wants. So we got a grill that goes in here. We haven't put it in yet. We just want to get everything fitted first. So we're going to polish the front of the grill. It's kind of been around for a while. I think it's a 25-year-old project that's just now finishing up. I always black out the radiator, just because when you look through it, it just sets off whatever you got in front so much better. It's way better that way. So we'll do that once we get to that. Got a new spring coming, got some new chrome parts coming, got some parts we sent out for chrome. Pull it apart, put the front end back together. So that's coming together, not too far away from that. Okay, so Alan went and bought one of the moldings from the valve cover, with the idea that maybe we can put it on top of the air cleaner, which it looks really cool, except we have a bit of an issue. So let me go on this side. You go on that side. Alright, so I got to bend it, not a deal. But you can see the ridge on here. I'm afraid if I machine this out far enough to fit that ridge so there's no gap here, it's not going to look as good as if I bend this, and I can probably put some tape on here. Then I can make a line exactly where the molding sits, so I'll have a shape of that, and I could grind this off flat, which means I'll need to paint it again, but cost wise it would probably be less than trying to machine this out to sit on top of it. Plus that will give it a much smoother line coming up to it and go up and then kind of down, and so that would be my suggestion. I really like this. I mean, so yeah, Your call, Alan, but can you get it back a little bit and get a better picture of that? I think that finishes it off pretty neat. For those that haven't been watching the car, this was a cleaner, a cover for the air cleaner for one carburetor. So we made the base for it, and since it's got a magneto in the back, this came to a teardrop shape. It didn't fit, so we had to kind of cut that, make it and do, and so it fits on there really. I think it looks really cool. Let's get a back view from over here. So we made this this console. The gauges, had to add a little bit down here to make the gauges fit, but they're all fitting. We got the wires in. Something I'll need to talk about. It's going to be a simple steering column. Let me grab it real quick. We've already got it fitted, but Alan wants a fluted one or a ribbed one, or so maybe we'll change that out. But the key's not on the column. Pretty simple. So we're going to have to hide a key and maybe have a starter button somewhere. We'll talk about that. I'll give you a call, Alan, and we'll make sure we want to go on that. And that can almost be a safety feature too. We can have a hidden switch to turn it on, and then a hidden button to hit the starter, or however you want to do that. Not that big a deal, but we can do that. This console here, we're going to be real clean. We're going to have, this will be push button turn signals, and we recess this. This will be all cleaned up in here, so it won't have that ridge. This will all be painted yellow. There's a little display, and then it's push buttons for the shifter. So this is the shifter. There would be shifter push button and then a display up top. We made two of them, but that'll all be painted yellow, fastened in there, looking tight and good. I think that's going to be, it's coming together pretty clean. So Alan got two of these for me for the back. So we've finally got the body sort on. It's going to come off again probably, but this is a really good looking flips, opens, so that's your fuel filler. We're kind of playing here, you know, this will flip down and it'll just kind of lay there. Do we want it to lay on the thing, or do you want a stainless behind here? This is some of Jason's drawing, so we can talk about that. So do we put a stainless polished plate underneath this to come around, or do we just leave it as the filler neck? Hadn't even thought about it much. Jason was messing around just to show me some of his ideas, so I'm looking at it probably just almost as good as you are, Alan. So we'll need to make a call on that. I'm liking these. We take two of these, and then of course Jason is like, well, we should have 5 of them. We can have 2 more here, and we can take one and split it here, and it can come down, and then this can sit on that when it comes down. Or so we've got a lot of options, but I like both this on the front for the air cleaner, and I like at least 2 here. It's got a neat, clean look to it. It kind of blends it all together. So old Petey Pete, we put Petey Pete on this. All right, we need to figure out what we're going to do with the lights, so we'll lay it out a couple different ways. Well, this doesn't really work because it falls into here. This is where the tank is, so we can't really go past that. This is way too close to that. So you have the options to go basically right in the center of that. I think that's where it would look best anyway. It's almost like the obvious choice, but if we go too close here, you're into the pivot, and since it angles a bit, that will accentuate the angle. If you put it out in the center, it won't look that way. We could fill some of this and fit it there if you wanted it this way. Not a great idea as far as I'm concerned, but anyway, we need to know on this one. We'll determine that here pretty quick and get these in today. I'd like to get these in today. So other than that, we're moving along on details. We're working the wiring, and we want to. Car's a little bit different than a Spirit car. In a Spirit car, you're going to have an open rocker that you can run wires through. This one we're going to have to kind of tuck them in the side, and we'll hide them with we'll get them taped in here real tight and hide them with the upholstery that way. get the fuse block up here, get up there and hide it best we can. We did figure out that we're going to go with the GPS since there was not much room on the for the sender for the Speedo. So we're going to just use the GPS, and the company that makes the gauges had one available for that setup, and we did it. So we had the rear end all together. It's got a cover that makes it look like a quick change. Alan thought this was a 9-inch, so we based everything thinking on this is a 9-inch. Jason did some research, and this winds up being an 8-inch. Now, like I tell my grandkids, don't believe anything you hear, read, or see. Do your own research, and that includes what I tell you. So don't believe everything you hear, read, or see me say even. But supposedly, I've been told by Jason, who did some research, and we had all kind of issues trying to get the backing plates to fit on the rotors, and just lots and lots of issues. Thinking this was a 9-inch, it's not, it's an 8-inch. And the best way to tell whether it's an 8-inch or a 9-inch, if you come around this way, you can, on the bottom here, you can see in here, if you can get a socket on this, I believe it's this one, and the other side, it's an 8-inch. If you can't get a socket on it, it's a 9-inch. And if anybody knows more about it than I do, go ahead and put that in the comments and straighten me out, because just because I give out some information, don't make it right. I'm just giving you what I think I know. And it caused us a lot of confusion, thinking it was a 9-inch, and it's not, it's an 8-inch. So I didn't realize they were that close to each other. So anyway, that was, as if you watch these videos, I don't know how they got stacked up, but they're, you know, there's previous videos of us doing this car, and you've seen us struggle through this. We do have shocks here. They showed up for the rear end. It looks like they're built them. Wait, what is this? I don't know, somewhere. Well, they're somewhere. But we put new shocks. The other ones were kind of rusty, and by the time you clean them up, they would be kind of nasty. We're still waiting on getting chrome bolts. I'm a very patient person, but I'm not real patient. And Gilligan will probably attest to that. I have my moments when my expectations are always set high for not just myself, but for everybody around me. And if you're going to be in my sandbox, I like to set the bar way up here. My goodness, I hope the new norm is not being as lackadaisical as we're being in the world now. You can't go get service anywhere here. You can't get that there. There's nothing to be had here. There's no parts here, no parts there. Trying to get chrome bolts. We can't even get chrome bolts right now. Calling a couple of our major competitors. I'm waiting 15 minutes on the phone, up to a half hour on the phone to talk to somebody. Take a deep breath. I don't want to trigger you, because it's trigger time. And it may all be over at some point after November, but the way the talk is on the street, we're going to have riots to pass that, just to prove a point. I'm not sure what the point is of proving, but who knows? It's crazy. So I wanted to get, in my mind, I wanted to give us something, just to think on these things, because what you surround yourself with and what you think on is kind of how you are. It's what you become. If you're thinking on evil, wicked things, and then you become surrounded by evil, wicked people, and you're doing evil, wicked things, and all of a sudden you're sucked into evil, wicked. If you hang out with good quality people, if you're trying to do good to each other, and thinking about your brother more than you are yourself, and do all those kind of things, and thinking on positive things, that takes you in a different direction. I wanted to go that way today, but on the other side is, and part of it too, and I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we build cars, and honestly, we're incredibly busy, so it's not like I'm trying to get more work. We're trying to actually help people build their dreams. Our numbers are way up, so this isn't a marketing tool, but I am conscious of that side of it. So I don't want to rub my friends on this side too bad, because honestly, I'd like to have a relationship. I'd like to have a dialogue. It doesn't matter if we disagree. I'm good with that. And hopefully you're good with me, just not having your opinion. We can get along. We can build cars together. Dennis is a prime example. I'm awesome tattoo guy, great artist. We are we're so far apart we almost touch. I mean, I've said that, and hopefully one day we can actually work together on a project, because he's an incredible artist, and artists think a weird way anyway. I just got to do this one. I can't not, because if I ask for wisdom and if I ask for what I'm supposed to talk about, it doesn't matter if I wanted to go over here. This is the one that just showed up. I got to stick here, but I'm going to throw this in because it's on the same page, and it's appropriate to the rest of it. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Pray therefore the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into the harvest." So then this here's in Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. So hang on, if all you military guys, and there's a war going on, in case you didn't know it. There's a war, and it ain't against left, right, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat. This is good and evil. And I mean, at the highest level, there is spiritual warfare going on. You know, if there's such a thing as aliens out there, okay, well, the prince of the power of the air was cast to the earth, and he brought a third of the angel demons down with him, and it's like crazy going on. So here we go. For those of you on the front line, it's all good. It's all good. It's going to be awesome. And I pray that the Lord send workers into the field. Be warned, though. This is me saying be warned, but this is the Lord telling us what we might expect. "Behold, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils and flog you in their synagogues. And you will be dragged before governors and kings for my sake, to bear testimony before them and to the Gentiles. They will deliver you up. Do not be anxious how you are to speak, for what you are to say, will be given what to say in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will deliver up brother to death, and the father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next, for truly I say to you, you will have not gone through all of Israel before he comes." So, it is what it is. Be gentle as doves, wise as serpents. We all have different skills. We all have different abilities. Back when I was on the road all the time, if I was out somewhere on Sunday and we were doing the car build, I'd just start preaching. Normally I'm home at the church, but since I'm not there, and we'd do the car build, and I'd usually use the message of the body of Christ, all the different parts. We all have different roles and purposes. They all come together to create the body in the car, and there's the car, and all done. And pretty much Paul, he was a tent maker. He built tents to get around so he could tell people about Jesus. Now I build cars. That's what I do. I build cars so I can get around and tell people about Jesus. Everybody out there has a skill, has ability, has whatever you do, you have people around you. I pray the Lord of the harvest send workers into the harvest. We're in exciting times. Don't fret. It's all good. Think on good things. Think on the Lord. It's awesome. Alan, it's coming together. I am getting excited. Truly, I hope you're getting excited, because I can sort of see it as a car, what it's going to look like. We've got some other ones coming up. Trinity Street Rods is coming together. There's a lot of cars stacking up, but we're going to start running them through. I've got a great team coming on. Gilligan is like so full of rust dust from Mike's car that Mike would be excited if he's seen all that rust dust all over him. It's like covered everywhere, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So he's got that DA down, and it's happening there. We'll show you on the rust part, probably maybe not this week, but it'll be coming up. And we got several other cars. We'll try to keep it fairly technical on this side. And again, we're going to fire up the T-Bucket TV, and I'm going to focus that on T-Buckets only and make that a more of a strictly, we'll keep the whole trigger time out of it. We'll just keep it strictly a edited kind of a technical thing of building cars or stuff like that. That's it for today. We will see you tomorrow. And God bless. How about that one?